Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome. Thanks so much for joining us today for this Kentucky Governor School for the Arts GSA 101 webinar. We're going to get started here in just a couple of minutes. And in the meantime, though, as we're waiting for more folks to filter in, if you guys want to, go ahead and drop your name and what county you're from in the chat. I'll go ahead and do the same. Like to see where everybody's from. Not required by any means, but it's always fun to just kind of see who's out there joining us.
We've got another Kenton County person in the chat.
All right, wonderful. Love to see Graves County, Bardstown, Simpson, Woodford, lots of Kenton, Bay County, Maysville, awesome. Rowan, Henry County, Boone County, awesome. All right, well, thanks so much, y'all, for dropping kind of where you're coming from in the chat. Again, hello, my name is Jessica Graham. I am the GSA Program Manager. I am so thrilled to be welcoming you to GSA 101 today. We're going to get started with a clear picture of what Kentucky Governor School for the Arts is all about, the kind of artists who thrive here, and how to put together a strong, confident application. If you would like to go have a different perspective on kind of our art forms. We have completed all of our art form webinars, but we do have all of these recorded. If you'd like to view them, you are more than welcome to watch them either on our Facebook channel or watch them on our YouTube page as well. Today's session is also being live streamed on Facebook and is being recorded. We will share the recording publicly in the coming days on our YouTube page. And then we're also going to have a Q&A at the end. So feel free to enter questions anytime during this entire presentation. Feel free to go ahead and drop questions in the chat. We might get to some of your questions later on within the presentations, but if you'd like, you can go ahead and drop them in the chat. If you're watching on Facebook, drop your questions in the comments as well. We're monitoring that stream there as well. And if you're joining us live, we do have a brief post-session survey. Your feedback really helps us, shapes how we serve the students and families across the Commonwealth. So please take a moment to complete it. And yeah, it looks like we've got a good number of folks here. So let's go ahead and dive on in.
Alrighty, let me share my screen here.
Rin, actually, do you want to introduce yourself?
Oh yeah, duh. Well, hi, if you can still see me, I think you can. My name's Ren Durstock. I am GSA's alumni coordinator, so I'm joined with Jess here tonight to answer any questions you guys might have. I'll be jumping in where we talk about some alumni benefits and also just some other parts of the summer experience. But happy to be here and happy to, tell you guys all about GSA and what an awesome program we have.
Yes, wonderful. I'm also a alum of the program. I am from Muhlenberg County. I went many, many moons ago for drama. So excited to share my perspective with you all and talk about how much this program changed my life. So happy to be working with you all today. All right, so behind every great program is a great team. And so I'm going to introduce the team members to you all besides Ren and I. So this is our admin team. Jason Brooks is our director. Jessica Graham, me, is the program manager. Natalie Eisert is the program coordinator. And Samantha Ren Durstock is our alumni coordinator. We work as one. We are a collaborative group committed to changing the artistic landscape of Kentucky. We're here for you at every step of the process, ready to answer any questions that you have. And we're here to offer guidance and make sure you have everything you need during this process, now and after you submit your application. So what is Kentucky Governor School for the Arts, or GSA? GSA is a vibrant community of artists shaping Kentucky's next generation of creative leaders. Our flagship experience is a 3-week residential summer program on a college campus where high school artists train in a conservatory-style environment that's intense, challenging, and exhilarating. Students dive deep into one of 10 art forms while also collaborating, across disciplines. Because here at GSA, collaboration is a key component in this experience. So GSA offers 10 dynamic art forms. Each is a launch pad for serious growth and bold collaboration. So as an applicant, you can apply up to 2 art forms and you'll get accepted into 1. So again, you can apply up to 2 art forms, you get accepted into 1. So I will go ahead and read off the art forms that we have. We have architecture and design, who's also, we were calling that design last year. Now we've kind of shifted again, as I'll talk about here in a minute why we shifted, but we're focusing back on architecture and design, creative writing, dance, drama, film and photography, graphic design. So that's kind of why we've shifted a little bit because we now get to include graphic design. It is our newest art form. We are launching it this year, so there's lots of exciting stuff to talk about with that, and also lots of questions. And then we have instrumental music, musical theater, visual art, and vocal music. So a popular question we get is, how do class sizes work? Class sizes are intentionally right-sized by art form. 2 of our largest art forms, instrumental music and visual art, typically offer 40 student slots. More intimate art forms such as architecture and design, film and photography, and graphic design, our newest one, will admit approximately 16 students for the summer. Most other art forms land in the upper 20s to low 30s. Every art form is designed to feel energized, focused, and collaborative enough for you to push you as an artist, and small enough so you have some real mentorship from your faculty members and guest artists. So how much does GSA cost? There's no cost to students who are accepted into GSA. We charge no tuition, no room or board to attend the summer program. Also, food as well. So all of your meals are provided for you. Keeping GSA tuition free has been a central part to our mission since 1987, when the program was founded as a partnership between the Commonwealth of Kentucky and Kentucky Performing Arts, formerly known as Kentucky Center for the Performing Arts, a Louisville-based nonprofit with statewide mission. GSA exists to connect young artists with affirmation, empowerment, resources, and high-quality educational opportunities so they can build the brightest creative future possible. We know every artist is lifted by community. If you're a guardian, teacher, mentor, or cheerleader for a young artist, GSA is here for you as well. Your guidance and encouragement are vital. Thank you so much for being an arts hero. Before we dive into the summer experience, let's talk about the heartbeat of GSA. These are our values, what we believe in and what's important to us. First of all, we believe that artists are vitally important to society. Across everything GSA, you can count on these values in action. GSA is uplifting. We believe each of us is capable and deserving of a bright and abundant future. GSA is open and communicative. We celebrate the differences between us and seek out commonalities we might not have realized that we share. GSA is community. We live, learn, and grow together as many individuals contributing to something greater than the sum of our parts. GSA is trust and integrity because without accountability and honoring our commitments to each other, we can't access the next 3 values: authenticity, vulnerability, and resilience. At GSA, we dare to be our true and best selves, embracing our quirks, growing and learning together, courageously sharing our unique voices with the world, and celebrating each person's worth. GSA is also about Kentucky love. With students coming from all corners of the Commonwealth, we discover the cultural richness of our state and develop our roles in creating the future we want for our home. And of course, GSA is about creativity and innovation. After all, we are artists. We flip the script, we pivot, we design a brighter tomorrow, and we bring color to everyday life. So that's who we are. Now, who are we looking forward to join us at GSA this summer? If you're a current high school sophomore or junior in Kentucky, you're eligible to apply. If you're not there yet, we've got sophomores and juniors. Keep watching. You can start building a competitive application years in advance. Yes, GSA seeks students with skill in their art form. Our 3-week immersion is intense, and we want you to be ready for the challenge. But don't count yourself out if you haven't had formal training or if you feel behind your peers. We value artistic potential just as much as proven ability. In fact, the only way to guarantee that you won't get into GSA is not to apply. Think about that. So you got to apply if you know you want to try and be a part of the summer program. Our application is designed as practice for future opportunities. Think college auditions or portfolios. So you'll grow and from the process no matter what. And remember, everyone at GSA, including our adjudicators, is cheering for you. We want to see you succeed. We know the courage that it takes to put yourself out there. We're also looking for passion. We care not only about what you create, but why you create it. Do you want to make people smile, spark conversation, drive change? At GSA, we live, breathe, and eat art. So we're seeking students whose motivations matches that moment. Collaboration matters too. GSA brings together a diverse community of Kentuckians, different identities, perspectives, and life stories. It's what makes GSA unique. You'll live with, learn from, and create alongside people who aren't exactly like you. With open minds and generous spirits, we co-create something bigger than any one of us. And of course, we want leaders, students excited to be challenged by new methods, ideas, and concepts. Growth can feel uncomfortable. That's why GSA is built on trust, accountability, and support. And then we stretch together. Finally, GSA actively welcomes applicants from all backgrounds and identities. In addition, translations are available upon request. If reliable internet is a barrier for you, call us and we'll work with you to make sure that you can apply. As somebody who comes from a rural community, my parents also still have terrible internet, so we understand firsthand. At the end of the day, we seek a student body that reflects the richness of Kentucky, because one of the most profound ways artists grow is by learning from people who are different from themselves. If that sounds like you, we can't wait to see your application. I'm going to pause for a moment. Sorry, Red. I'm going to pause for a moment. I realized that I forgot to actually figure out who's all in the room with us. So I'm going to do a quick poll to see who all is joining us today. I'm going to launch that real quick. If you guys will go ahead and fill out their anonymous questions. So it's figuring out what art form you're applying to and what best describes you. Yeah, you guys will go ahead and answer that. I figured that was a good spot to launch that question that I forgot to launch at the beginning of this. That's okay.
Before we get into the nitty-gritty of everything.
Exactly. I want to know who is in the space with us, besides our folks who have listed in the webinar chat.
Yeah.
Yes, wonderful.
Very cool. Looks like we've got some graphic design interests, which is always good to see.
Yeah, absolutely. Got a few folks for architecture and design, creative writing, some for dance. Almost all art forms are represented in this space right now. Awesome. It looks like we have mostly sophomores and juniors joining us. We've got a few educators and a couple parents and guardians. Awesome. Wonderful. All right, I'm going to end the poll. It's okay if you didn't participate. No worries. Yes, awesome. Great. Well, thank you all so much for that input. So that way we can make sure to cover all bases. All that wonderful stuff. All right. So what is GSA really like? So there are two parts of GSA that we're going to break down today. There's studio and residential. Those are the twin engines of the GSA experience. So we're going to start with studio and talk about what your time is like in studio, the place where the magic begins. By day 2, after you guys get moved in on day 1, we're in full stride, y'all. We kick off each morning with breakfast and an all-school gathering. A dynamic mix of performances and talks from working artists across all of the disciplines represented. GSA admin leads a quick Q&A at the end, so you'll discover a new art form, spark interdisciplinary ideas, and glimpse careers you didn't even know existed. It's very true. From there, you're going to head to your art form studio. Studio is our shorthand for everything that builds your craft. So that's your classes, workshops, rehearsals, demonstrations, field trips, independent practice, guest artists, and more. You'll get personalized mentorship from faculty who often become lifelong guides. After lunch, we return for a focused afternoon studio block to refine skills, create, and collaborate. Evenings offer three different options. Sometimes you'll extend the studio. We'll sometimes go to studio all the way till 10 o'clock at night. Other times we'll have an all-school assembly for more performances and presentations. Sometimes a little song and dance. And on some evenings, you'll lean into the residential life side, which we'll talk about in a minute with our RAs. You'll use that time to connect with your peers, decompress, and build community. Back in the residence halls, you can wind down or socialize. Lights out is at 11:30 p.m. Our days are longer than a typical school day. So keep in mind, you're starting your morning at 9 a.m. and you're ending it every day at 10 p.m. They are purposely rigorous and deeply rewarding. Weekends have intention. Studio runs 7 days a week. So again, you live on campus and we are in studio 7 days a week, but Saturdays start 2 hours later, so you have some time to recharge. Sundays offer free time until afternoon studio, so we'll start studio at 2 p.m. And depending on program needs, occasional activities might happen earlier in the day. If you'd like, staff can arrange transportation to nearby houses of worship on Sunday by request. Across the program, you'll also have 2 studio free days. So you'll have 2 days where we won't have classes. One is usually a school community event. So we'll be kind of like a big field trip. And the other day focuses on rest and residential life activities curated by our staff. In short, GSA moves to a powerful rhythm of learning, making, performing, and living in community. Structured enough to push your growth, flexible enough to showcase your voice, and inspiring enough to leave you hungry for more. And then residential life is where community clicks. After studio, the magic keeps going in the dorms. Every student is matched with a residential advisor. They're your live-in mentor, guide, and build-in hype squad. They're there to make sure that your GSA experience is safe, successful, and genuinely fun. You'll also join your RA small group, a mix of students from different art forms and hometowns. So for example, I was the only one from my community, from my hometown that was in my RA group, and that was totally cool. Think of this as your GSA family or crew. You'll check in regularly, swap insights from studio, and build the kind of friendships that are often outlast the summer. Back home, being the artist might set you apart. At GSA, it's the thing that connects us. Beyond the classroom, our RAs curate a full slate of activities. We've got Coffee House, our legendary talent night, where you can perform, MC, or cheer from the front row. You can showcase some of your talents that you may not be doing. So for example, if you are in musical theater, but you're also a writer, you can showcase some of your written work at Coffee House. There are quiet crafts and big games, everything from painting to puzzles to long games and board game battles. If you want to move your body, there are open gym times, casual runs, and pickup volleyball. And don't miss field day, planned and led by RAs. In 2025, we offered indoor and outdoor options like spike ball, cookie decorating, and a volleyball tournament, all ending with a school dance. If you need a slower pace, that's totally fine on your day off. Take a low-key evening to recharge in your room. So you're not required to go to the dance. And sometimes that is a question. Residential life at GSA is where mentorship, laughter, and those late night aha moments live. It's community by design, supportive, spirited, and unforgettable.
Yeah. So, you have anything else to say? Okay, great. Yeah, so Jess was saying that these friendships at GSA that you might foster during the residential life side of things last a lifetime, and that's because GSA doesn't end when summer does. We're in your corner for the long haul, helping you find quality, affordable college options and championing you as a creative citizen for decades to come. So let's talk about what that looks like. As a GSA alum, you're eligible for scholarships at nearly 30 colleges and universities nationwide. You can find the full, always updated list on the alumni section of our website. We try to keep that as current as possible, but those things do change year to year. So if you ever have a question about a specific scholarship, feel free to reach out to us and ask. I'm always happy to answer those kind of questions. So we also offer college and career coaching that actually helps you. You'll meet recruiters during our college fair and then come back in the fall for our college and career day college fair, our college and career day with exclusive one-on-one rep meetings. So you can meet different colleges that either you met over the summer or they might be new to you. And there's also some auditions or portfolio reviews that happen during that day as well. Along the way, you'll continue building mentorships with GSA faculty and staff who know your work and they want to see you win at the end of the day. A lot of our GSA faculty and staff are also GSA alums, so it's cool to see somebody who might have attended 10, 15 years ago come back and teach because they're still a working artist. We also offer funding to fuel your next leap. So through the GSA Alumni Fund, we award $10,000 each year in grants to support artistic development, whether that's an artistic project, a program, or a professional development opportunity that moves you forward. Fun fact, we actually figured out who's going to be receiving those grants earlier today for this cycle. So that's very timely, very fun. So that is a big part of the alumni bubble of GSA. And of course, there's the network. So you're going to be joining a community of 9,000 GSA alumni creating exciting work across the globe in the arts and far, far beyond. So it's a network that opens doors, it makes introductions, and it reminds you that you're a part of something bigger. In short, GSA is both a launch pad and a lifelong community. We're with you through applications, auditions, first jobs, big pivots, and bold ideas.
So where to find what you need? Everything you need, including the application link, lives at KentuckyGSA.org. So that's Kentucky with Kentucky spelled out, GSA.org. A heads up, our site is embedded within Kentucky Performing Arts, bigger umbrella. So if you click onto a different link or a page that talks about shows or tickets by accident, don't stress. Just hit the back button or re-enter KentuckyGSA.org and you'll be right back on our webpage. Now for the must reads, the applicant guide. That's the number one important thing that you want to check out first. There's one for each art form, so that's a total of 10. Read yours from the start to finish before you begin and keep it handy throughout the process. The 2026 guides are available today and have been available since October 10th. Inside your guide, you'll find what you need. You'll find exactly what you need, excuse me. First, a review of your art forms curriculum so you know what to expect during the summer program. Then what to submit, your precise online application requirements. And then if you advance past the preliminary rounds to the final round, you'll know what to bring to the final round auditions or the interviews. And then you'll also know how you're scored. The evaluation criteria is spelled out for you in those applicant guides. Also, you'll get pro tips straight from your adjudicators to help you put your best work forward. And then I'm going to drop in the chat kind of where that link is. So if anybody has not been to it yet, please check it out. And I'm also going to drop in the chat our homepage unaccepted. So this is where you can begin to apply. I'll talk about that here in a minute. If you still have questions after reading your guide, reach out to the GSA admin team. Please reach out to us. We'll share the contact information for us at the end of this webinar, and keep an eye on our website. We're posting an applicant walkthrough video that shows you step-by-step how to complete your application. Actually, that link is live as well, so you can check that out. So again, start at KentuckyGSA.org, and then open the applicant guide, read it front to back, and before you start your submission. All right. At GSA, your artistry, not your test scores, lead the way. We don't ask for your GPA, SAT, or ACT scores. Instead, our adjudicators look for your truest indicators for how you're going to fit into the program. The work you make, the potential you're growing into, and the context in which you've created the art. Many young artists are multidisciplinary, so you can apply in up to 2 different art forms. And if you're an instrumentalist, so if you're applying for instrumental music, you can apply to two different instruments, but that does count as two art forms. So for example, if you applied to guitar and brass as a trumpet player, then that's your two art forms. You can't apply to those two and creative writing at the same time. Great. So here where I'm at. We keep application costs straightforward and accessible. The fee is $35 for one application, or if you're applying to two, $50. There's no automatic fee waiver for students on free or reduced. Oh, sorry. There is an automatic fee waiver for students on free or reduced lunch. So whenever you're walking through your application, you're at the second part of the application. You can click a button that says you qualify for free or reduced lunch. No questions asked. We also build equity into every step so talented students from every corner of Kentucky can step forward confidently. Our review is holistic. There are no different demographic quotas by county, school, gender, race, age, or grade. We consider your abilities, your potential, your access to resources, and the identities and perspectives you bring. And while all of the Kentucky Governor School programs shine, GSA, Governor School for the Arts, GSP, Governor Scholars Program, and GSE, Governor School for Entrepreneurs, GSA's application is uniquely student-driven. You don't need a school nomination or approval to apply. Teachers and counselors can be great partners, and in many cases, their formal role is simply completing recommendation forms. So the quick facts are no GPA, SAT, or ACT scores required. You may apply up to two art forms. The application fee is $35 plus $15 if you apply to the second one. There is an automatic fee waiver for students on free or reduced lunch. There are no quotas. Our process centers talent, growth, access, and perspective, and no school nomination is needed. So show us where you are as an artist, who you're becoming, and we'll meet you there. So our application is a two-step process. We start an online application that is open and has been open since October 10th. Every application is, once everything is fully submitted, sorry, I'm lost my train of thought. So after you submit your application, you're officially done with the first part, the first round. And then after students, after that first round, the virtual part, excuse me, getting my train of thought together. After that first virtual round, we'll go through, adjudicators will go through and adjudicate you. And then we make an announcement starting February 14th, I believe. Then those students who move into final round. And then after that final round portion, we choose the 2026 class from there. And then, so you'll start at apply now. On accepted, I think I dropped that in the chat, yes. Again, the accepted is spelled without an E, so that's how the company created their program. So you want to create a quick profile and you're off. So you can start today if you want to. You don't have to pay until the very end if you are paying. You'll open it up. It will have you fill out your name, your address, your phone number, I believe, and then your two recommender forms. Those are part of what we ask for. We'll talk about that here in a second. And then you can hit submit, and then you're on to part two, which is all kind of the juicy bits, is what I like to call it. So if you hit a snag during this, accepted support can help with tech. If you have questions about the content or requirements, then GSA admin is here for you. So if you run into, something happened to my profile, I can't find it, then you want to reach out to accepted. Their contact information is at the very end of the applicant guide. Inside the application, you'll share basic contact information, demographic information, and then you'll identify two recommenders for the recommendation form. So what that looks like is for you to supply two different emails, make sure those email addresses are correct. And then once you enter those email addresses, it will send that person that you've listed directly a form. So you don't have to worry about that. They don't have to submit a letter or anything like that. They just need to fill out those forms. It takes about 10 minutes to fill out those forms. And then, you'll have two art form prompts. You'll have one written prompt and one short video of you speaking. It's kind of our way to get to know you. That's also what you'll submit. And then after that, you'll submit art form specific materials that align with your discipline requirements. This may be a couple of uploads for some art forms or several short videos for others. Your outline for that or what you need to upload is listed in the applicant guide for your art form. So read that first, read the applicant guide first, and then refer to it as often as you build your submissions or as you build your application, excuse me. You can start, pause, and save your progress as you go along. Just be sure and to finalize and submit by end of day, Sunday, January 18th of 2026. Now we have that listed that our deadline is January 18th, 2026. I'm going to drop that in the chat. But we do highly suggest that you get it in a week early because sometimes when everybody's applying all at once on January 18th, the internet or the application can be lagging and it can be really slow. So just to not stress yourself out, definitely want to get it in before then. Also, last year, for example, we actually had a big snowstorm that happened, kind of similar to right now, but I think it was much worse, much more ice. And so you definitely want to get that in early before you leave, probably get all your videos recorded and done before you leave for Christmas. So that way you have plenty of time to upload it before you get back to classes in January. So here are some pro tips for a standout submission. Start early. Strong applications are curated, not crammed. Live by the applicant guide. If it's in the guide, it matters. Brief your recommenders now. So tell them that you're applying to Kentucky Governor School for the Arts and to expect a form in and to watch out for that form. So sometimes, for example, you do get spam, or sometimes those forms will go to spam. So if that happens, don't stress about it. We will figure it out. Just contact us and we will make that happen. And then also, I do want to say, if your recommender does not fill out that form, don't stress about it. We do take that into account into your application. That does not count against you. But if we can get a recommender form, excellent. We're doing great. And then definitely test your tech before you submit it. So confirm that your file formats and check your videos and audio qualities before uploading. And then most of all, submitting your work is an act of courage and craft. We're so excited to meet you through your art, and we're cheering you on this next month as you submit your application materials. Right.
Crazy that we're already a month away from the application due date. That is
Woo!
wild. Yeah. So that is kind of the application and what you can expect to see on Accepted. But looking ahead to next summer, we are thrilled to share two big updates. GSA is moving to Northern Kentucky University starting in summer of 2026, and GSA 2026 will run as one unified session instead of two. So that means that all of our young artists will create, learn, and live in community together on NKU's campus, building an even stronger, more connected experience across every art form. So mark your calendars, and just since I'm sharing my screen, would you mind to drop these dates in the chat? Because we are going to be on NKU's campus from June 7th to June 27th, 2026. One campus, one program, one unforgettable GSA at NKU. Very excited. So you might be asking, where am I staying on NKU's campus? Housing at NKU comes in two suite styles, and placements are assigned based on the availability. So these photos on the slide show both of the layouts that are going to be available to GSA students. First, the 4-bedroom style on the left-hand side here. That is 4 private single bedrooms within one unit with 2 private bathrooms. So kind of a suite style if you're familiar with those kind of college layouts. And then second, the 2-bedroom suite is 2 single occupancy bedrooms, no roommates, share 1 private bathroom. So I know on this image here, there are roommates in these 2 single rooms here. You guys will not be having roommates in a 2-bedroom suite. It's just the 2 different styles of bedrooms that we have available to us that summer. So while we can't guarantee a specific layout between these two, both options are fully furnished and designed to support a comfortable, community-minded GSA experience. If I can find my screen
Ren,
again.
can you talk about where NKU is located at?
Yeah. So NKU is in Campbell County, Kentucky. It's in a city called Highland Heights. It's really close to the Ohio River and the Cincinnati border. So as somebody from Kenton County, I'm just a hop, skip, and a jump over. But it's a really cool area. It's definitely a more condensed campus than UK, where we've been years prior. But hopefully that'll kind of foster a really great community space for our students over the course of the next few years here. And also, it's just a really great area. There's a lot of arts available in that area as well. So we're excited for some potential off-campus field trips and just seeing what spaces NKU has to offer our students for the years to come.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And one thing I'll touch base on, because I know there's a question in the actual chat. So our contract with University of Kentucky did end in 2025. So that's why we're moving to NKU in 2026 because they did not renew their contract. We love University of Kentucky. Everything is, we're excited for this new opportunity with NKU. That's just kind of how campuses work. GSP and GSE do very similar things as well. So we're not the only one. Before we were at University of Kentucky, we were at Center, and before that, we were actually at Transylvania University, which is also based in Lexington. So lots of universities that GSA has been at. So we're excited to adventure out into Northern Kentucky University. And then also a question why we're moving from 2 sessions to 1 session model. And just to be totally frank, is a part of our funding has ended. So we were awarded funding through COVID to extend the program for the next from 2021 to 2025, I believe, to the 2 session model. And that funding ended. We knew it was going to end. So we're back down to 1 session model. So we were really fortunate to have that during that time. But yeah, so I just want to address that real quick before we move on past the NKU UK questions. So
Absolutely.
yeah, thanks.
All right.
All right, so this is our last webinar, GSA one-on-one webinar. We do have other ones that are available. So if you're like, I didn't get enough information from this GSA one-on-one, let's check out the rest of them. Feel free to check out our YouTube page as well. No, I will highly, highly, highly suggest if you have not viewed it already, go to our YouTube channel and check out the art form webinars. Those are, you're actually talking to the adjudicators, the folks who are going to be, or excuse me, yeah, the adjudicators who are going to be adjudicating your applications. So those folks are going to be answering questions on those videos. We have 10 of them, one for each art form. They're really, really helpful. We actually break down the applicant guide step by step besides final round. So definitely check those out. I think they're just a huge, huge help in like finding audition material if you're in musical theater, vocal music, if you are creative writer, figuring out kind of what your portfolio should look like, visual art, what that cover page looks like, things like that. So just to give a few examples. So check those out on our YouTube page. That's all I got for that one. Great.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Jess, but I think those art form specific webinars are also linked on our website as well. So if you're
Yes.
already on our website looking for the applicant guides, you should be able to find those as well.
Yes, exactly. Thank you so much, Ren. I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
It's a little bit easier to get to than our YouTube
Hey,
page.
whatever you have, you know?
Right, exactly. We're doing our best. We're doing our best. All right. And
This is
then
our
let's wrap
deadline.
up. No, you're so good. Let's wrap with a few joyful prep tips. First, live in your art form every chance you get. Take a class, rehearse, sketch, compose, write, or dig into the work of other artists online. Luckily, we have the internet. There's lots of free and readily available resources. You can watch widely from stuff that you're streaming on Netflix to YouTube for artist inspiration. But you don't have to just consume. You can also have opinions. What moves you or doesn't, and why do those things move you, or why don't they move you? Where do you see GSA's criteria showing up in others' work? Which artists do you admire, and what are they teaching you right now? And then reflect on your why. Why do you create? What kind of artist are you becoming? Practice saying it out loud. Share your dreams with people who care about you, and ask their creative interests too. It's great practice for the application and a beautiful way to deepen relationships. That's always one of the first questions that you'll get. Why are you doing the art that you do in this application process? So And remember, GSA is a powerful opportunity, not a verdict. We typically receive 1,200 to 1,400 applications every year for 276 spots. So yes, it is competitive, but don't let that hold you back. Apply because you believe you deserve a spot. You deserve a space that challenges and champions you. If it doesn't work out this time, take pride in your courage, carry forward what you've learned, and let it sharpen your next step. You are an artist regardless. No program, not even GSA, gets to decide that for you. If doubt creeps in when you apply, return to this. Your curiosity, your craft, your voice, your why, that's the heart of your application and the start of everything that comes next. Before you go, remember, we're here for you. If a question pops up or you want a pep talk, reach out. You can call us at 502-566-5192 or email us at gsainfo@Kentucky, with Kentucky spelled out, performingarts.org. There are no scary adults at GSA waiting to judge you. We are so excited to cheer you on in every step of this process. We genuinely love talking with young artists. You guys are the future. You guys are going to change the world, and we love cheering you on. And we're going to help you put your best work forward. So stay connected with us on social media. Find us on Facebook by searching our program name, or you can follow us on Instagram at KYGSA. And we can't wait to see what you create and to cheer you on every step of the way. Yeah. Thank you so much. Awesome. So that's kind of it for the presentation. Now we're going to take time to answer Q&A. So we do have some in the chat. So I'm going to talk about that for a little bit. And then also you can drop Q&A anonymously as well. So don't feel if it's scary to drop your name. I totally understand. Don't stress about that. We're here for you. So, so we had a question about where the campus is located at and is there any transportation aid. So for example, if you are going to have a hard time getting to NKU, if you get accepted into the program, that's okay. That is something that we have experience with. So we will work with you and your community that supports you. Even if that's somebody like a school board member or your superintendent, sorry, when I say school board member, I mean superintendent, counselor, somebody at your school that we can help get you from wherever you're located at across the Commonwealth to NKU. So that's a great question. I'm going to answer that live. Done. I'll read this. Oh, great question. If you audition for two different art forms, and you make it into both, do you have the option of what art form you participate in? So that's a really great question. So that often can happen. So you can apply to two art forms and get in for two art forms. It'll be a little bit different this year. I'm trying to remember how it was before we changed to a 2-session program. So it doesn't happen too often, but when it does happen, we do allow you to give your preference for which art form. Now, we cannot guarantee, but I would probably say we try to honor that request 98% of the time. I think it's only happened once or twice that we were not able to honor that request. So make sure in the final part of your application, so if you make it to final round, there'll be a question that you'll fill out and be like, oh, you got in for two different art forms. Which is your preferred art form? And you'll be able to list that there. So great question. Thank you so much for asking that. Great. So go ahead.
Sorry, I was just going to say, I'm going to go ahead and drop our email and our phone number into the chat as well, so you guys can copy and paste that and keep it for your records. But that's on our website as well, all over social media, everything like that. So we're pretty easy to contact.
Yeah, absolutely. We do have, I will also say, for contacting us, we are open, or we typically respond 9 to 5 every day. We are on Eastern time. Then if you don't reach us, feel free to leave us a voicemail. We'll call you back as soon as possible. We are coming up to the holiday times, so we will be unavailable, and we'll post that on our social medias. So you'll know when we're not available. So have patience, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. And then, so how many people, we had a question in the chat about how many people that apply each year. So it ranges, it goes from about 1,200 to 1,400. So 12,000 to, not sorry, 12,000. I'm so sorry. 1,200 to 1,400 to the end of the day, y'all. I'm doing really great. And then we have 276 spots available. Um, Oh yeah, and then we had a question. So if your application video, depending, it doesn't matter for any art form. And this person specifically was asking for musical theater, but any art form. If you, we do have a time limit for most of those videos. If you go over by 4 to 6 seconds, even 10 seconds, please do not stress about it. It's just a guideline to um, encourage people to, be mindful of their time and the adjudicator's time. But 4 to 6 seconds, even 10 seconds is no problem at all. Thank you so much for that question. So, and y'all please keep those questions coming. Otherwise, we're going to end this webinar and we won't be able to answer
Answer
any of your
questions here
questions.
now.
Yeah, right now. So, trying to think anything else. Ren, do you want to talk a little bit about? I'm just gonna uh not ham it up a little bit, but roll with
Yeah,
it.
fill the space.
Yeah,
I know as somebody who isn't a GSA alum specifically, I was a bit more behind the scenes when I was a high school student here in Kentucky. It is really cool to just see how the program has grown over the past few years, and especially now as we're transferring to a new campus. I think this is a really great time to be a part of GSA and to be interested in this community. So yeah, I would recommend that you guys really apply for two art forms if you have an interest in two art forms. Again, it's going down to one session this summer. So let's say, for example, you are a visual artist, but you also have interest in graphic design. I would highly, highly encourage you to apply for both because GSA is just a great place to be. And, you want to take every opportunity that you can in order to be a part of that. Yes, we're not the end all be all of all things, great in the arts world, but it's a great place to start. It's a great community to be a part of. And it's something that, I wish I would have had in my high school career, but I'm very happy to be a part of this community now.
yes. We love Ren. Awesome. So we got some more questions. Thank you all so much for dropping questions in the chat. I appreciate, or chat and Q&A. Happy to have both. So there's a question about, is there anything that would immediately disqualify us? The number one that I can think of from the application process I'll talk about, disqualifying you is if you didn't follow the applicant guide. So for example, if they, for example, if you were submitting something for film and photography and you guys, they list the requirements on the applicant guide and you guys ended up submitting a creative writing portfolio. That's probably the first thing that would disqualify you. I know you just want to follow the applicant guide. It doesn't, again, the videos, there's a grace for time wise, but for the most part, you want to follow the applicant guides as closely as possible. Now, once you get into the program and you're attending the summer program, I will also talk about that we had, if folks have bad behavior and things like that, people are also asked to leave the program. So just keep that in mind as well. So best behavior. Great. So I answered that question. And then I'm going to answer a few more. So for example, if you have medical or physical issues and you're concerned about kind of the intensity of the program, which rightly so, it is a really intense program and it's very physically intense. There's a question if we will be able to take frequent breaks during the day. That's a great question. So if students are, when students are accepted into the program, we send out that information oh my goodness, in April, if you're accepted into the program. I don't think that timeline was posted. It is posted on our website. I'm gonna drop that. Brent, can you drop those dates in the chat, please?
I sure can.
Thank you so much. So when you find out that you're going to the summer program, and you accept your slot into the program, we have you fill out a thing called Camp Doc, and this thing called Camp Doc talks about, we ask for medical information, so that way we can best support you throughout your GSA journey as possible. So that is also a question that we have asked, or people have asked of us before, is to be able to take breaks throughout the day. That is totally doable. We do just need to keep in mind how those breaks are done, whether they're just kind of in a separate classroom or if they're back in dorm side and stuff like that. But we'll talk about that more once people are accepted into the program to make sure that we can accommodate as much as possible. So great question. Thank you so much for asking that. Another great question. If you apply to two different art forms, will your applications be viewed separately? Yes. So there are two different, or typically, two different adjudicators for each art form. So for example, if you apply to graphic design, you'll have a different adjudicator for graphic design than you do for architecture and design. Same for musical theater. If you're applying in musical theater and you're also applying into vocal music, there'll be different adjudicators for that. Same with drama, etc. So great question. So if you want to use, also if you want to use the same recommenders for each of those art forms, you can do that as well. They will not see the same applications. So musical theater only has access to musical theater, drama has only access to drama, all that fun stuff. So great questions. And then what kind of movement will be the musical theater dance called? Tap, jazz, ballet? It's typically a blend of different things. It is a little bit different every year, but it is, I want to say, very accessible for dancers. They're definitely understanding that some folks are more movers than and have more experience doing movement versus actual dance classes. It's kind of just to see where your skill level is at. It's not trying to disqualify you from the application process. I will say it's different every year, so I don't know what it's going to be like this year, especially because we have different adjudicators this year than previous years. So how will the communication work for if you make it into the program or not? That's a great question. Um, so we will let you know via accepted, and then accepted will send you an email if you make it into the program or you're a finalist. So it'll be both for final round auditions or interviews, and if you make it to the summer program. We will also post it on our website that day, typically by the end of day. And we'll also make a Facebook post that's like, hey, the lists are live via our website to see if you made it to final round or not, that kind of thing. So great question. Thank you. Oh, yes. Great question about the cell phone policy. It's so funny that we don't have that written out. So yes, there is a cell phone policy. So you are not allowed to have your cell phone outside of your dorm floor. So if you're in classes all day, studio and all day, your morning presentations, your phone is in your dorm room, safe, because you have a key to that. But yes, you do not have access to that. Now, if you have something like type 1 diabetes and you have an app that tracks that, let us know. That is part of your medical submission form that once you make it to the summer program. But yes, the idea behind not having your cell phone, I know that's very scary for some, but it is a way for you to connect, excuse me, to the community at hand. So that way you can focus on the things that are happening around you instead of being stressed about what's going on somewhere else. But I will say, if, for example, if you're worried, concerned, you have a dog who is having surgery and you're concerned if that dog will be okay on the other side of that surgery, there will be somebody that can reach your parent or your parent can reach you within 20 minutes. So for example, say that your mom wants to call you and let you know that your dog is doing great. It was a great surgery. They'll call the admin office. Admin office will contact your RA and then or your DA, depending if you're in studio on Res Life side or on Res Life side. And then your RA will find you and tell you, hey, your dog's surgery went great. Congratulations. Or your DA, who is kind of like your teaching assistant there and things like that. They'll tell you, hey, your dog's surgery went great. Everything's good. So yeah, great questions. Awesome. Do you want to answer? Let's see here.
Looks like we had a question right above where I dropped those dates.
Absolutely. So we had a question about uploading monologue videos. Just your monologue. So we had a question of does my slate and monologue need to be added into the 90-second portion, or just my monologue needs to be 90 seconds? Just your monologue needs to be 90 seconds. That's fine. That's acceptable. Your slate does not have to be included in that for GSA. Yeah, great question.
I will say for both musical theater and for drama, there are guidelines for the slate in the applicant guide as well. At least I believe there are. But they do love a succinct, efficient slate, so you shouldn't be adding too much time with that slate at the beginning of your audition videos.
Yeah, it should only be a few. 5 seconds max. All right. You're so welcome. Any other questions, y'all, before we end this fun party? I really enjoyed getting to know each of you. Thank you so much for being here. I'm kind of stalling to see if there's any last minute questions. I went to GSA when we were still at Transylvania University. It's when we had one session. Somebody being from rural Kentucky, I actually was roomed with a creative writer from Louisville, and it totally changed my life. It was a really great experience. I got to go to university for a full ride, so that was really cool. And then I got into theater from there, and I've done theater ever since. It was been a great time. All right. Since there's no more, oh, okay, we got a couple more questions.
I knew that would happen.
Um, so great question about roommates. So that's a great question about roommates. Sorry, I just wanted to read through it again. So you are assigned a random roommate. That's also intentional. It's a way for you to get to know a different perspective from your part of your county, or um, oh, trying to think of words, or for them to learn from you. That's what I was trying to think of. So if that is a hesitation for you, let's talk about it. Send us an email, and we'll talk about it. We'll see what we can do to help you ease your worries about having a roommate who's random. Now, I will say you will have your own private room, so you're not sharing your room. That's not how it was when I was at Transy. So, um, we had another question that's saying, would you say getting accepted is difficult? It's different for every art form, how difficult it is to get in, but the application is challenging, and it's ideally supposed to be challenging because it's like applying to a university application. So it's giving you that firsthand experience. Now, if you mess up in the application, it's okay. We understand that you guys are sophomores and juniors in high schools. Um, Things happen. We will help you as much as we can along the way. But it is a challenge. So for every art form. So great
I
question.
think the word that you used when we were talking about the application of competitive is really the heart of it. Like, yes, statistically, it is a competitive application. We have only so many spots over the summer, but at the same time, our adjudicators are really great at getting to the heart of these applications and figuring out who you are as an artist. That is their ultimate goal. So yes, we are looking for high quality applications, absolutely. But if certain things happen, like, there's a voice in the background of your video because you have multiple siblings at your home or you're filming at school or things like that, that's not necessarily going to dock you on your application. It doesn't need to be pristine and perfect. It just needs to be authentic to who you are as an artist and as a student.
Absolutely. Well said. Awesome, y'all. Well, that's all we got. I guess we're gonna end this party. Thank you all so much. Again, if you have any questions, please reach out to us. Again, we're so excited to see your applications. We're so excited to just learn to get to know you and things like that. But yeah, thank you guys so much for your time. I really appreciate it. And that's all she wrote. So we're gonna end this party. Bye.
Bye.